Hi Jeppe, I've read your task 4 and I'd like to give you some comment on that. I'm going to be talking about the different phases of writing. There is a video for that that you can find if you go to the Plan for English in the folder called Plans. I'm going to focus on the editing phase because I think that's going to be the most useful for you to consider for the future. So editing obviously is when you've done your first draft of the text. You edit in order to make your point of view clear, in order to orientate the text towards the reader, and to either cut away or add information so that the main point of the text, the message of the text, is sufficiently supported and clear. So talking about editing, or sort of before I talk about editing, I will say that you have done something that has improved your text immensely, which is you've included an introduction. That's really good. That's the first step in orientating your text towards a reader. Outside of that, there is a good structure and there is a good logic in your communication and good vocabulary as well. So it's very kind of relevant and nuanced. So you're able to say what you want to say with the vocabulary that you've got. So that is really good. There are places where I think you might want to consider being a little bit more assertive in your choice of words. When you are going to be discussing something like this topic, and we want you to assess something, there's a linguistic task in that. So outside of the conceptualization, which is you deciding what you think based on the information that you have from the text, there's a linguistic task in making your voice strong and authoritative. So one way of doing that would be, for instance, using phrases like, it's obvious to me that so and so and so, or having read Breitenbauer, or having considered this and that, it would now seem that Denmark should be doing so and so, or Denmark is never going to be able to do this because we're in a coalition, blah, 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 something like that. So more assertive language. So big yourself up. Speak like an authority. Not insanely authoritative, right? It still needs to be within reason, but you can definitely tweak that more. What it also does, it signals to the examiner and the teacher that you're at the right taxonomical level. This is not description, this is me talking. Based on my analysis, I am now able to say the following. So keep that in mind, I think, because that would just strengthen what you've got there already. What you can also consider in terms of the paragraph organization in part 2 and 3 is to divide that into more than one paragraph. It seems to me that you've got more than one topic sentence in part 2 and 3. Also in part 2, you talk about what is tangible and what is intangible. So there are both tangible, intangible things being said in this document. And it kind of begs the question, so what? So when you edit and you sort of see, okay, maybe I'm kind of opening up a question or opening up an area that I don't really address afterwards, the reader would then become confused, obviously, because you're not really sort of, is this an avenue he's going to go down, talking about the intangible and the tangible, and why is there something that's not intangible in this text which is meant to be very tangible? So you kind of open up some questions to the reader. Either you can follow along that avenue and elaborate on that, or you can just simply choose different words to sort of kind of shut down that discussion, or just phrase it differently so it doesn't open up all these questions to the reader. Because I thought you were going down that kind of way of arguing about the Danish comprehensive approach with ISIL, and that's not really what I see you doing anyway. So either go along that kind of run the gamut all the way, or shut it down. In terms of proofreading, which is where we look for typos, grammatical errors, layout, there are two kind of grammatical errors that you make quite a bit. There's subject-verb agreement, which I don't see that much of, but I see a lot of errors in the possessive IFL, which is where we use the apostrophe S, Breitenbauer's point of view, the government's approach, etc. it's quite easy for you to spot them if you make your mind up to look for it in the proofreading phase of your writing. So keep that in mind, because you seem to not notice that this is a possessive. Okay, so good structure, good logic in your communication, tweak your language so that you become more assertive and kind of more of a voice of authority when you do your assessment, and then make sure that there's only one thesis sentence per paragraph. Sorry, topic sentence per paragraph. I think that's it for me. You can write an email if there's anything you want me to elaborate. Otherwise, I'm going to be at the course on the final Friday, so you can catch me there. Okay, that's it. See ya.